Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. Welcome to Diamond Painting Gym. Thanks for dropping in. Today's video is a continuation of the last one where I opened a diamond painting from Wish, unpacked it, showed the easiest way to stop it curling up. And today I'm going to talk about the bits and pieces that come with it and setting up for your first diamond painting. You might think it's just a matter of taking out the box or the bag, unrolling it and just get on with it. You can do that, but it's better if you take time to do a little bit of preparation. It makes it easier for you in the long run. So this is the diamond painting that I opened in the last video. It's a 45 by 45 diamond painting, and this one uses round drills. So when I say drills, it's the little plastic things that come with it to make the picture. It's called diamond painting because these drills are multifaceted on the top, which means the light reflects off at different angles. So you get this shiny effect. So that's where the name diamond comes from. But they're actually made of plastic. And they either come round or square. So this one is a round drill. And the first thing that I do with them is use masking tape, which I put around the edges because the glue on the painting actually goes over the edge of the actual painting, so you get a strip of glue around the edges, and if you don't cover it, it can get really messy. You get hairs sticking to it, fluff from your clothes, that sort of thing. So it can end up looking kind of grubby, and it's also irritating when you're doing the diamond painting and you keep touching this glue. So the first thing that I do is go around the edges and take off the cover. So this is the actual diamond painting. And you can see all these ripples and lines. That is air bubbles in the glue. The way that these ones are made is you have canvas and then you have a thin sheet of, it's like double-sided tape, but it's very sticky, as you can see. Very sticky. So when they make it, if it's not made very well, you get these ripples. The first thing you want to do is try and minimize them, because if you do your diamond painting over this, when you press the diamonds down, it looks as if they're flat, but once you finish it, you'll see all of these little rivers and lines will pop up again. The diamonds will stick to it, but they'll float back up. So you'll get all these little lines that are really obvious. So you want it as flat as possible. So the way that you get rid of these things is to use a craft knife, something like this, just a really sharp knife basically. And what you do is you score down the air bubbles, and don't press too hard, just enough to cut the glue. And what you're doing there is you're releasing the air, so it means that the glue will settle down better, and hopefully it won't look as bad as it does just now. This is pretty bad, I have to say that. It's the worst one that I've seen so far, but it's also the cheapest one that I've bought. And I've found that you get what you pay for tends to be the rule. You get ones that are much better quality, but they are more expensive. And if you're just starting off with diamond painting, you think it's something you might like but you're not sure, you can try going for something like this, a relatively small one, 45 centimeters by 45 centimeters. But you probably will come up against these sort of problems, so that's why I'm doing this video, to try and point out things to people who are just totally new. Some people might have just opened this up and said, okay, that's it, and just started. They're going to end up with a lot of bad looking areas with these waves in it. So the first thing that I would do, like I said, is I would actually use masking tape and go around the edges. So I just use just normal masking tape from any DIY store, and go around the edges and tape it off, but don't go right to the edge. I made that mistake with the first one that I did. I went right to the very edge, and I found that when I went to take the masking tape off, when I was finished the painting, it was actually underneath some of the diamonds, so they popped off when I pulled the tape up. So what I do now is I leave maybe a millimetre or two. I don't know how well, yeah, you can, I think you can see that. Yeah, you see the shine there. The glue overlaps, so if you don't cover it, you're going to be hitting your hand off it, putting your elbow on it or your arm on it, getting hairs on it. It ends up looking really grubby. So I'm not going to put the tape on, but basically just go down the sides, leave maybe a millimetre or two so that you're not right up to the edge. That way you won't have the problem when you peel it off. You won't be pulling any diamonds off with it like I did, but again, you learn by your mistakes. So first job, tape it off. Second job, look at all these rivers. Again, give you a close up. So you can see these lines, pretty bad. Definitely the worst one I've had. So it's just the way they make them. They don't put the glue down perfectly flat and they get these air bubbles in them. These are done with double-sided tape, but you also get ones that they use what they call poured glue. So it's a different process, so they actually pour the glue on the canvas, and it means you don't get these bubbles. So poured glue ones, you're not going to have to waste your time doing all this. If you're just beginning and you're buying a relatively cheap one just to try it out, the chances are it's going to be like this. It's going to be a tape one. Hopefully not as bubbly as this one, but you don't know how bad they're going to be until you get them. So I'm going to do videos all the way through this one, and we'll see it from the very beginning to the very end, and we'll see how well or not well these rivers disappear. So what I'll do is I'll tape it off like I said, around the edges, stop my hands and elbows and things touching it, and I'll slice all of these air bubbles. So I'll do a different video when I actually start it. I'll let you see it once I've done all the bits and pieces. So now I just want to talk about the stuff you get with it, or you normally get with them, and how they can vary and what the different things are for. So as I said, this is really intended for people who are absolutely totally new to diamond painting. Maybe probably not even ordered one yet. It's definitely worth looking at YouTube. There's a lot of very good advice. Just search diamond painting or hints and tips or beginner or anything like that. There's a lot of people giving really good advice, and it's good to watch different people. Different people have got different things they do, the way they do things. There's no definite right and wrong. It's really just what suits you. And I'll go through the way that I do diamond paintings and why I do them that way. It doesn't mean to say that's what everybody does or it's right. It's just the way I do them, and I'll explain why I do them that way. So getting back to what we got in the pack, the diamond painting obviously, and then you always get a pen. They're all the same. They're all the same. Might be blue or pink or clear, but they're all the same. They all have this tip, which is hollow, and you will get wax, which is normally pink, but depending on which company you get it from, it can be different shapes and slightly different colours. So this is the wax that I got with the very first diamond painting I did. I got 2 pieces, and it was a relatively big one. It was a 60 by 60, and I thought, is this enough? Like, these 2 pieces, is this enough to do this? I actually only used one, and I used that for the next diamond painting and the next diamond painting and 3/4 of the next diamond painting. So it doesn't look much, but they do last a long time. And what the wax is another sort of sticky stuff, but it's not as sticky as the glue. And the idea is that you peel back the cellophane. It's important to do that. I know people have done it, didn't realise you had to take this off, didn't even realise there was something there, and they were trying to push the pen in. It doesn't work. So what to do is peel the wax back, and then if you've got OCD like me, you'll start as close to a corner as you can, like a cookie cutter, and you push it into the wax, and then that fills the tip. So I don't know if you can see it, but the wax is in the tip there, and that's tacky, and it's enough to pick up a diamond. So this is how you pick the diamonds up. And you can see I've punched the hole. So I do them like this. I do the next one really close, and I get as much out of the wax as possible. That's probably why it lasted so long. Sometimes you see adverts and they're just sort of poking it anywhere. I just always do it this way, like I said, maybe OCD. So you've loaded up your pen and it's ready to go. So that's the pen. I'll put that there. The wax, like I said, you get different sort of shapes, different colours. You can see that one's a lot lighter than that one. Depending on the company, you might get heart-shaped wax, or you may get it in a little tub with a screw lid. So as you get more and more diamond paintings, you end up with more and more wax. So that's just a few. I haven't opened all the boxes yet. I've still got quite a few that I'll be unboxing and doing videos of. So then we've got the wax. So that's the pen and the wax. You'll always get them. You will also get a tray, and again, depending where you get it, which manufacturer makes it, they could look different. So that's one, that's a different one, and that's a different one. So this first one doesn't have a lip, which actually is more important than you would think. The second one is wider, which is good. It holds more drills, so it's better to get the wider trays if possible, but you can always upgrade. A lot of people sell much bigger ones, heavier ones that don't flip over. It's really easy to tip these things because they're angled at the sides. Just a little bit of pressure on the edge and it flips over and your drills go all over the place, and usually they end up on the glue and you have to pick them all back off. So this one doesn't have a lip, as you can see. This one does. So there's a little lip there, so when your drills are in here you can tip them out. There's this one, you can't really, they're going to go all over the place. And then you get these ones that have got the little nozzle. These are the ones that I like, because when you tip them they go down this little chute, and that comes in really handy. I'll explain why in a minute. The other thing that you might get is tweezers. If you've got square drills, you could get tweezers, and again, depending on the manufacturer, they can be different. So this is the type that I actually use. It's got the bend on the end of it, and you get ones that are just straight. You see the difference? I mean, they're just tweezers. I mean, they do the same job, but it just depends. I don't know what which style you prefer. And then you get some that are a bit more heavy duty. These are a lot thicker and very, very sharp. So they come with a little cover so that you don't stab yourself or anybody else. So again, depends on the company that you get them from. The chances are, if you're going for a cheap one, you're going to get either this or this. The sort of better quality ones, you're likely to get something like these. These are much, much better quality. Other thing that you might find, move these up, is you may find one or two of these things and wonder what they are. These are called multi-placers. The pen, you place one drill at a time, but you can use these things and they plug into the end of your pen. So that plugs in, and then you've got a little slot there. You fill that with wax, and this is a 3, so you could put 3 diamonds in a row and then press them down. And people use these, they call them multi-placers. It's to make things a bit quicker. If you've got a big area of the same colour, instead of doing 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, you can do 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. Or you get bigger ones again, where you can do 7 and 7 and 7 and 7, and that sort of thing. Now, I don't use them at all. I prefer to place the drills individually, but that's just my preference. So you might get them, just so you know what it is. It just plugs into the end of the pen, and you can give that a try. Something else that you might, well, I'll skip to something else before that. So the other thing that you get, obviously, is your drills. So all the different colours, they've all got numbers, and these relate to this key which you get at the side of the picture. And sometimes you get a sheet as well. This one I did, but the print quality was so bad, it was very, very hard to read these letters and numbers. So what I did was I wrote them again beside it, like this is an M, believe it or not. So I wrote it so that I could make out what they were, and I wrote down the I numbered each one. So there's 28 colours in this one, so I wrote 1 to 28. Now this is the way that I do it. If you're totally new and you don't have anything and you just want to get started, what you would do is you would look at the picture and look at the number or the letter or sometimes the shape of the one that you want to place. You would find it on here, and you would get the bag and open the bag and then place it. So to make it easier, for me anyway, rather than opening a bag and then using some and then taping the bag back up again and sort of working like that, what I did was I bought what they call a tic-tac box. Now they're called tic-tac boxes for obvious reasons, because they look like tic-tac boxes. So just got the little flip. So what I do is I number these I've got 1 to 28, and I'll show you the box that I'm actually using in the project that I'm working on just now. So I have these numbered 1 to 48, and the way that I work it is, when I finish a project, I empty out the drills that I was using, and then I mark up the next sheet in the same thing. I happen to have 2 of these boxes, so I can show you on this one. So, but this is the project that I'm working on just now. So this is the sheet from the one that I'm working on just now, Slightly different, a lot better. I can actually read the numbers and letters and symbols, and they already number them 1 to 48 in this case. So what I've done is I've numbered the Tic Tac boxes 1 to 48, and then I've put the DMC number is a standard number. DMC 150 should be the same on any painting. They do vary slightly, like paint or wallpaper, depending on the batch. So you might get something that's a 150 and it looks slightly lighter or slightly darker than ones from another piece. But in general, they are pretty close. There's so many different shades, but they're pretty close. So you go by the DMC number. This one here is in Chinese, so you can't really make out what these numbers are. So this is the reference number here, and this is how many drills you're meant to have, and this is how many bags you're meant to have. So what you should do is check all of them and make sure that you've got everything that you should have. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going to number all of these, and I got this box from Wish, and it came with labels which happen to be exactly the right size for numbering them. So I've got the numbers written out up to 64, because what I'm going to do is just number the whole thing. I'm just going to number it all, and it'll stay permanently 1 to 64. And what I do is I put the label on, and then I use a piece of the narrow sellotape, which is exactly the right size to cover that without covering the little catch. So I cover that over with sellotape, that way it keeps it clean and it stops the labels from popping up over time. And then what I do is I use a piece of sellotape that just wraps over, and then I use the craft knife to cut here, so I can take the lid off if I want to, for whatever reason. So I can take the lids off and put them back on. What I like about these is you snap them shut, and if you knock them over they don't spill anywhere. You'll see a lot of different ways of keeping your drills. This is the one that I prefer. You'll see people using other setups, but again, it's whatever suits you. But the reason I like the Tic Tac boxes as well is if you've got a tray like this, it fits exactly into the Tic Tac box. So if I take the first one, I'll let you see it up close. The first one is an M and the number is 150. So you look through your drills, I found the packs of 150, and then what I can do, if I can find the scissors, is move up a bit. So you get your tray, you get your 150s, you cut the pack, and you tip your drills into the tray. And you always get stragglers, you always get ones that bounce away. So now they're in the tray, and then what I do is I get the Tic Tac box, and I get my drills, and then I tip them in. And we've got static on these, that's why they're sticking. So that's it. So what I would do is, I've got another two, I would just empty all of these in here. So that's my number one. So when I'm doing the picture and I see an M, I know it's number one, so I take out colour number one out of the box and I use that for the M's, and then I just carry on like that. I'll be going through this again when I'm actually doing a video of me actually doing the thing, but I find it the easiest way. The plus is you don't have to change the labels. Once you've numbered them, the numbers just stay the same. All that happens is the colours change, because the next one I do, the number one won't be this colour, pretty much guaranteed. So all I do is keep the same numbers, and then I change the colours for whatever painting I'm doing. Some people cut out these, well, not in this one, this is so bad, but normally you can see the symbols. And what I did was scanned this one and just printed it in the computer, printed it in the printer. So you can see like O, so when I see a red O on this one I'm doing, it's number 1. And then it's just, I find it easy to do that. So what I do is I look on the painting, I see a red O, I look on here, red O is 1, I go to my box here and I take out number 1. And then I work section by section, so in the area that I've uncovered, I look for all of the O's, and then I use this colour for them. So rather than putting the symbol on the box and then when I come to the next one I need to take all the stickers off because they won't relate to the next one. It's just, if I keep the numbers 1 to 64 or whatever it is, it's just a matter of changing the colour out for the new painting. Another thing that you might get or you might see is these things. You may wonder what that is. It's a funnel, it's a pop-up funnel. And that can be used in the Tic Tac boxes. So what you do is you take the lid off, like the whole thing, and then you squish the nozzle, push it into the thing, and then you just pour your diamonds in here. It may be a faster way to do it, but I haven't used it, but I can see there being a problem that they all sit on this lip inside and then you've got to sit and poke them all about to get them in. I prefer just to empty a bag into this and then tip it in through the lid as sort of normal. So just maybe put 2 or 3 bags, if they're this size, 2 or 3 bags in here and then just tip it up and tip them in, that's it done. So you can see we're building up quite a collection of stuff here. I think that is pretty much everything so far, all that I want to talk about today anyway. So as a recap, when you get your diamond paint, you'll get a pen. If it's square, you'll get tweezers of some kind. You'll get pink wax, and you may get a multiplacer, and you will get a tray. You also get some spare little bags as well, but you never get enough that you could actually use. Little bags like this. And the idea is that if you've cut open one of these bags, you can put the spare drills in one of these and seal it. Some companies actually provide you with the drills in bags like this, different sizes. A lot of companies do them like this. So these hold about 200 drills each, so they calculate how many you need of a certain colour, and they should always give you slightly more than you need. It doesn't always happen, but you can contact the company and tell them I've run out of whatever colour, and they should send it to you. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't really want to go into too much all in one. So first things first, flatten out your diamond painting like I showed in the last video. Then use tape around the edges to cover that sticky glue, and then it's up to you if you get something like the Tic Tac box. Again, if you're doing your first one and you're not sure if you're even going to like it, I wouldn't buy anything extra. So you would just have your pen, your glue, your tweezers if it's square, and your tray. And you could work it that basically you just open the bag, use what you use, and if need be, try and cut it neatly, fold the bag up and use a bit of sellotape to keep it closed. Or use some of these, but you only get maybe 3 or 4, something like 5 maybe, of these bags now. This has got 28 colours, so you don't get 28 bags. So that would be the simplest way to do it, but it's kind of awkward. And then if you accidentally tear the bag, you need to find something to put the drills in, or you're going to lose them. So if you start and you think that you're really enjoying it and it is something that you're going to do, I would recommend something like the Tic Tac box, and I sort of explained why. And especially if you get a tray like this that's got the nozzle that fits in, makes things a lot easier, a lot faster. You don't end up with drills all over the place, because if you have this type of tray and you try and tip that into the box, they're going to go all over the place. They're not going to go just in the box. They're going to end up all over the place. So the nozzle is definitely a good thing. So I think that's it. Like I said, what I'll do in the next video is I'll come back to this, I'll have it taped off, and I'll have cut all of these air bubbles that are in it, and then I'll actually start working on it, and I'll explain how I do it and why I do it the way I do it. Again, people have got different ways that they work on, but it's going to be something that you'll decide what suits you the best. And as I said, there's no real right or wrong way, it's just whatever way you find most comfortable. I might change the way I do it as time goes, but I'm quite happy with the way that I do them. So hopefully when you come back to the next video, these air bubbles are going to be gone. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you picked up something useful. As I said, this was really aimed at absolute beginners. I think maybe I've went into a bit too much detail. I was trying to keep it straightforward, but there are different things. There's still some extra stuff that I haven't spoke about, but I'll wait until I'm actually doing this and then I'll explain that. So again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate people taking time to watch, and thanks for the comments. Thanks to the people that have got back in touch with me. It's nice to know that people want to see this sort of thing. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye for now.